Welcome everybody to the Daryl and Boo Show's weekly update. We got some new graphics up. Basically took our names and wrote them into the background as a logo. So I'm pretty excited about that, and new theme music and whatnot. So we're coming along. We're gonna be taking over that spot for Team 1040 pretty soon.
Fresh new look.
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah. How was your weekend, Daryl?
Yeah, it was nice. Both my wife and I had a pretty busy week this week or last week work-wise. So we had Friday evening rolled around and we both just said, let's order in some food and kind of crash and relax a little bit. And then, we were both out and about for the weekend. It was just nice and relaxing. A lot of the same. Did kind of meet up with a couple of friends outside and connected, which was nice. How about yourself?
Nice. Yeah, it was good. I mean, we got up to the hill, got up to Cypress, and that was pretty good. They had a bunch of snow. Even going later on in the day, we go in the afternoons usually these days, and there's still tons of snow that for the kids to get through. And then on Sunday, I think our son, I mean, I took care of a bunch of to-dos on Sunday, but then took on the challenge of making sushi for the first time at
Wow. That's no small endeavor.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's a lot of prep work to get, you start to appreciate when you go to sit in a sushi restaurant. If you sit at the bar, you can see all the items that are prepped there. Everything is ready to go for them, and started to realize like so much of it is actually done ahead of time, and then the final assembly is still also a challenge. Like I can't roll a burrito myself without it exploding, and so rolling sushi, everything kind of just squirts out the sides if you're not careful with that too. So it'll take a few more goes at it. We had a couple successes, but I'm sure we can get used to it pretty soon.
Yeah, as long as it tastes good. Speaking of skiing, I did chat with one of the buddies I did connect with this weekend. He and his daughter were up went to Sasquatch last weekend, one of the days during the week. I've never gone up there. I mean, formerly Hemlock, but he said he had great things to say about it. 3 big chairs, he said, and as much or more snow and terrain as Cypress, according to him, which surprised me. I didn't really think it was anywhere kind of close to that. But yeah, I'm interested to now check that out, because I've never even thought of venturing out that way, and probably only an hour and a half, hour and 3/4 maybe from our place. So
yeah,
check that out.
Here's a challenge with Cypress, is that if you're not on the ball for buying seasons passes and you're buying day by day, that's fine if you're not going a lot. But if you want to go a lot and you've missed out on buying passes, because they have the pass I buy is called the Silver Extra Pass, which is basically a full pass, but it has a blackout during the Christmas vacation, which we're usually too busy to go do anything at that time anyways. And then that sells out within like a day or two. Their season's passes have a limited amount that they sell as well. And so that sells out within a week or so as well. There's another pass, a Silver Pass, which has some more blackout dates to it. January and February weekends are actually blacked out with that one. So it's not appropriate for everyone either. So all of pretty much all the passes are sold out for Cypress for next year at this point. So going to a place like Sasquatch is a great alternative, actually, or depending on where you live, it might be your go-to.
Yeah, it's interesting. I got to thinking, because there's some nice golf courses out that way also, like Sandpiper is out there, and with people kind of moving, I think that trend to moving further away from the city and working remotely see real estate is obviously just booming. That area might be due to grow even more. I know it's had some nice growth in the last several years anyways, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch that.
Yeah, there's going to be development there on the hill, and you could pick up a townhouse there. At least it's probably gone up a little bit, but I looked maybe a year and a half ago, and you could pick up a townhouse there for under $300,000.
Wow.
So,
which to some sounds like a lot of money, but being anywhere close to a ski hill in British Columbia, that's not a lot of money. So.
Yeah. And then all they have to do, so the road's probably better during the winter, but the road during the summer is a little bit hard on your suspension. But once they do that, I'm sure it's going to be gangbusters up there. So.
Yeah, apparently the government is putting a lot of money into it, has committed to investing a lot of money into it to make it a year-round place. So, yeah, interesting.
Cool.
I think we've got our good friend Peter Scheffler waiting patiently in the wings here. So,
all right, and for Peter too, I think the hills have opened up in Ontario, right?
They did last Tuesday. So we had Family Day last Monday. So I think it's usually a week after yours. So everything was closed that long weekend, and then it kicked into high gear on Tuesday. And I think the hill's been fairly busy. I have not been up there. I actually bought a season's pass, which I've never done before, but I bought a season's pass, and they refunded it about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Maybe but not even that. Maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago now. It just, you weren't going to get your time out of it, and maybe they, I don't know if they had any inkling things were going to open or not, but anybody who had a season pass, you can buy day passes up to 2 weeks earlier, and if you didn't do that, then the ski hill I'm with anyways, I think you can only buy maybe 2 days in advance or something like that. Because they're limiting numbers on the hills significantly. Yeah, so that was, they're open. When you guys were talking, I was planning on going on Wednesday, I think, but I've got some calls late Wednesday now, so that might push things back. Maybe I'll go Thursday or Friday, or I'm ice fishing and sledding on Saturday, so I won't go Saturday. But
nice.
Yeah,
I've done neither of those things, but I'd love to try.
Well, maybe we can talk about your new sled there, Peter.
Oh, yeah, that's been a fun thing. That was my my wife's you need to go do something, go buy something purchase. I was live streaming my sledding on Saturday. It was here in Toronto, in Ontario. It was -15 in the morning when I pulled out of the driveway at about 7:30, heading up to a friend's place about an hour north of here. But it got up to 0. We saw snow squalls in the distance. A cloud never went in front of the sun for us. It was a picturesque day all day Saturday. So I was live streaming on YouTube or on Facebook my experiences, and I've got some GoPro shots to do and stuff. So, but it was a lot of fun. It's and as I said on my live stream, which was kind of buzzy because I guess I need to work on my headphone, but I had said, people always ask, because I travel so much, what does my wife think of my traveling? Apparently, she likes it when I'm out of the house, because she was like, okay, yeah, we're not going to go for Christmas or vacation this year. Leslie, we're going to do this. Let's look at it. So we decided to go buy a sled, and now she's like, just go have fun, and don't worry about me. So apparently, me being out of the house makes her happy. So
Now, acquiring a sled at this point is actually a pretty tough thing to do. I think they're sold out almost everywhere, right?
So Sea-Doos are sold out for this year. There aren't, you can't get a new Sea-Doo. I actually had to drive to Ottawa, which is a 5-hour drive, to pick up this sled that I got. There were, there's used sleds available on, Kijiji and, on eBay or whatever you want to use. But me being new sledder, I was like, I wanted to get something that I knew I was going to be backed by a warranty, and I would learn a little bit with it. So I made the trek to Ottawa to find one, because there was none in Toronto, like nothing. Wow. Like they were all gone. And I couldn't even buy a trailer. Like there was no. I ended up getting a trailer from Lowe's and kitting it out to, like, so I could trailer the sled around. There was just nothing to be had. And the guys that I was talking to that I've dealt with with my Sea-Doo, they're like, yeah, we're allotted 300 Sea-Doos this summer. They're all sold. Like he said, I don't have any for like, he says, it's not even I have a sled. He says I don't have Sea-Doos anymore. So because everybody's looking for something to do. So the trails are pretty busy, and I'm sure they're busy with new people like me, and hopefully people aren't getting hurt because they're new on sleds. I mean, they are a lot of fun, but they're, racing across the lake at 130, 140 kilometers an hour. You can do some damage to yourself if you're not careful. So
yeah.
It
was fun.
How is braking when you're going that fast and you're on a lake? Is it still easy to control your speed?
So you're on this lake and there's lots of snow. There's a groom trail. Like I wasn't on flat out ice. My sled has studs in it, so if you're going to be on a lake, typically you'll get studs, and there are varying levels. Like my studs are only maybe 3/4 of an inch, half an inch in size. You can get like 2-3 inch studs that you put on those. That's more for sledding in your area up in the mountains. But I mean, braking it. I actually tested it from I was about 80 kilometers, and I slammed on the brakes to just see what it was like to stop. And I probably stopped in 50 feet, 100 feet, like down to zero. So it is pretty quick. And with mine, I guess I've now learned there's little nuances with I have a Ski-Doo like a Bombardier, and as soon as you let off the gas, like the throttle, the brake kicks in, so it even slows you down all the time. So it's a little bit of a safety mechanism there too. So. But I was out with a friend, and we did about 170K on Saturday. About 7 hours we were out for the.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Is your friend experienced at this? Or?
Yeah, he's been doing it he's lived up there for 6 years, I think now. And he used to live here in the town that I live in, Newmarket, and moved up there, and has been sledding since he was then. And a lot of people, me as well. I mean, we had sleds as kids. I mean, not that the world has changed, and I mean probably the 30-horse snow machine I had, in 1972. It's not exactly the same as the 180 horsepower one that I've got now with a turbo on it. So probably pushes 220, 240 horsepower when I put it in a turbo.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have Sea-Doos also, or do you have a Sea-Doo on for the summertime?
Actually, I traded it in for the Ski-Doo because we weren't using it, and we weren't, and really didn't even put it in the water last year. It's just it was a small one, and it was good for 2 people. Not really. It's good. It's a 3-up, like you can sit 3 people on it, and you can ski behind it. But an adult male really can't ski with anything other than like a small adult on the back and a kid behind it. Like you can't really ski behind it. So if I wanted to, we're making decisions on what we want to do with our house and stuff over the next couple of years. I would probably go to a bigger Sea-Doo. That's something that I could ski behind, and maybe have, like, I find with one, my wife doesn't want to ride it. She would rather drive it. So it'd be more fun to have 2 of them to bomb around the lake, or so we'll see. Yeah, nice. I don't know. But for now, got out of that, sort of out of the water world for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. How's the boat? Is it? Do you still have it?
We have it tentatively sold. So once the season opens up and it goes back in the water, we'll have a sea trial, and assuming the sea trial goes well, I will no longer have a boat. So
okay.
Which is the second worst day of your life, right? So.
The first one is shelling out the money for the boat.
The first day is buying the boat.
Cool. So I think we've we've talked about this with a couple customers, but you know, and hopefully this isn't super breaking news for folks, but ASM as we know it is going end of sale on April 1st, and we have a whole lot of customers who will actually be transitioning from ASM, hitting reactivate on their licenses, and they'll actually be getting an upgrade to all the advanced WAF features. And Peter, you're kind of our advanced WAF guru here, but you know, we'll be onboarding a whole bunch of folks. We'll try to get that communicated out to folks. But any recommendations for what people should play with first on AWAF?
So for the first thing they need to do is they have to be on 14.1. So it'll only activate if you're on 14.1 or higher. So for some people that's not gonna be a problem. Some people are probably still running 12.1 or maybe 13.1. So they won't get those benefits yet. 12.1 doesn't have advanced WAF capabilities anyway. So you really wanted to go to the 14.1 where they're going to get the enhanced bot capabilities. So the bot services that we have. So there's a bot profile. You'll be able to take advantage of the bot signatures. So if you have the threat campaigns license, then you get the updated bot signatures. You'll get threat campaigns, which is a huge advantage for protecting from known threats. So it's really how the attack has been actually how a vulnerability has been weaponized is kind of the words I use. So those are known attacks that we're seeing in the world. They're hitting our honeypots and they're hitting our AI, and it tells us, hey, you need to build a threat campaign that meets these criteria. So those are the things that you can instantly take advantage of. The threat campaigns requires a subscription, but certainly that's something that you can turn on, and the impact is like zero, right? Because if a threat campaign fires, it's not a false positive; it's a positive. Right. So it's something you do really want to turn on. So those are a couple of the advantages. If you're looking at layer 7 DDoS, then you can extend your layer 7 DDoS capabilities. So you can turn on more protected objects. So that's a good advantage for people. If you've got a box that's already running ASM and you enable that, now you can actually add more profiles to protect from the typical layer 7 DDoS attacks, things where we see people, using, bots to hammer a particular URL or take advantage of a particular URL, and then the engine can see those. So that's going to be those are the low hanging fruit. And if you're using, if your application development teams are using APIs and you have Swagger files, well, now you can use Swagger files as your policy building process. So that gives you a new mechanism. Now that's not something you have to actually do a little bit there, but it's pretty easy to deploy. And we've got some great webinars that we've been doing on how to turn that capability on. So that's something that you can do, but you probably just need to schedule some time. That's not something you would just normally turn on. You probably need to sort of work with your development team and figure out how to operationalize that. But that's going to be, I think, where people are going to spend most of their time is the API capabilities.
Yeah, cool. And important to note, I mean, it sounds obvious, but a couple of customers have asked. I mean, ASM is going into sale, but not into support. So
right,
you have the option of leveraging some of these AWAF, some of these features that Peter talked about, but it's not like your ASM is going to go into support, continue to be supported at the same cost. You'll just have more functionality, which is pretty cool.
So yeah, and I even get questions internally. So I understand this is a confusing thing. There is no conversion from ASM to advanced WAF. Like there is no policy change. An ASM policy that has, let's say it has API protection turned on because somebody has been running that or doing that or whatever. ASM just ignores that. It just doesn't see it. So when the advanced WAF license, we call them like the word escapes me.
Flag.
License. flags. There we go. Yeah. So when those feature flags are available, then it just takes advantage of them. So there's no like we've had some people come back and say, well, we got to do a whole bunch of testing. Well, it's the same code, and if you don't turn anything on, there's nothing in there that's going to be a difference, and it's just going to ignore things that it doesn't understand today. Those things are just going to be available, but you're not using them, so it's kind of a wash. So the support is going to keep staying the same. There's no plans to end of support ASM. That's not at all in the mix. This is just we got SKUs that are confusing to people, so let's just make it simpler, make it more simple, easier for people to consume, and that's the messaging here.
Yeah, good news story all around.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention while you're on the line as well, Peter, is that you've got your own videos that you've been releasing that have been pretty cool. Maybe you can touch on what you've been up to there. We're on our third video now. Probably have a second from our. We've just been recording them, so it's a guy I've known for several years now. He's a leadership consultant, so he comes in and trains people on sales leadership and sales process, and it's kind of this. We just sort of chat. We're both hockey guys, so there's usually some sort of hockey reference. And the previous one. The title comes from One Barrel at a Time. Of course, it's a hockey reference. It comes from the hockey, the World Juniors with the U.S. team, where they were literally just looking at a barrel in front and getting to that barrel and then worrying about what's the next barrel. And Tony and I said, well, who knows? We might do one of these. We might do 10 of these, but let's just do one at a time. And that's where the One Barrel at a Time came through. And we posted one last Friday. And it was talking about rivalries, which I thought was kind of cool. Tony had found this article, and we sort of brought it into business and hockey. And it's I think this one's 5 or 7 minutes long. I hope people can click on it, and I appreciate you giving me a little bit of time here to wave my flag on your channel. But the idea is to sort of talk about business stuff, some sales stuff. We'll get some security topics in there as well. So it's a much smaller version of what you guys are doing, but it's kind of fun.
Cool. And speaking of hockey, I'm sure everybody in Toronto must be pretty happy right now with how the Leafs are looking, and Austin Matthews in particular looks like.
Well, if you said that last Tuesday, we would have been like, we had pitchforks and torches because we had lost and, one to Ottawa, so the world was going to end. I'm like, yeah, we're still 10 points up on the second team, but the world is ending, right? So I'm very happy. I cannot complain. Phillies, did they play last night?
They played this weekend. I don't know if you haven't caught any highlight. Not the game was a disaster. They have a lot of players out with COVID right now, unfortunately. But they played. They're one of 2 games in the outdoor Lake Tahoe.
Right.
So they played yesterday. If you haven't checked that out, like what an amazing venue that looked like. I guess they're going to be building that whole area up, but it was right on a lake in Lake Tahoe with the Sierra Nevadas in the background. And of all the outdoor games, I mean, they're generally played in football stadiums, so it's not exactly picturesque. Yeah, maybe Boo can pull up a picture. It looked absolutely just stunning. Like when the Flyers were playing, the sun was literally setting on the game. So they were playing in the sun. The first game that they actually played was so warm that they had to postpone it till the evening. But I hope they do an annual game here, because I will definitely make a pilgrimage down to check this out. Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful picture. Wow. Well, I'd seen I was stumbling on the team name because I had Gritty in my head, and I guess I said Phillies, not Flyers, because Gritty was like hiding behind the trees when the Zambonis were on, and doing his usual insanity. So yeah, I didn't catch the game last night. We were out for a walk yesterday, so I missed the game yesterday. But.
Yeah, the Flyers got handed to him again, but what a setting. I will I would have loved to have been there. Obviously, there was no fans, but yeah, there's gritty snowboarding.
Yeah, it's snowboarding. That's why he was snowboarding, because he was in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
See, I saw that post, and I was confused because I was thinking it was like Colorado or something. Like, aren't the Flyers playing in California? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking it was LA, not. I didn't realize they were up in Tahoe. That puts all these things back in my head in the right order.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
That is super
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
One other thing I did want to, I know we're almost at the end here too. Time has flown by. We had Tim Wagner on last week, which was awesome to catch up with him and chatted a little bit about Volterra. Yeah, I'm just interested to. Boo and I are obviously pretty excited about this. Haven't really made a kind of concerted effort to go out and talk to our customers about it yet. We'll do when in the coming months, once the dust on the acquisition settles. But maybe a couple minutes of your thoughts on Volterra and what that's going to do for our customers.
So it's exciting. In 2020, we did a few different things. Not sure what to say and what not to say, but so we were working on some stuff on the edge, and that was a big focus for us. Business being what it is, it didn't pan out quite the way we wanted it to. So this is the idea here was really to get capabilities at the edge. Like that's really where it's going to work for customers. And all we're doing is we're changing the concept of where the proxy sits. We tend to think that the proxy is sitting in a rack or in the cloud somewhere. What we're doing here is we're moving that edge another step out and allowing it to float and exist anywhere. So Volterra is really that great answer. And being able to provide those different services, which we always do at this, was it a critical control point or whatever it is we had from the marketing slides from 2012. That's really what we've been doing, and all Volterra is just another control point. And so being able to insert capabilities there, so excited about it. Dave Remington, was a counterpart of myself on the team I work on. He's moving over now to work on we call it Project Keystone, and that's been expanded now to include all those services. So Silverline, Cloud, FI Cloud Services, all the things that Tim talks about. Like that's like Tim's world. All those things are consolidating with Volterra, and I mean, as excited as I was with the purchase of Shape, and I was through the roof with the Engine X purchase, because the stuff that we were working on internally just at that same time. The Volterra one is as game changing as those two put together, I think, because we're going to be able to offer all those services, all that at the edge, and all the things that people know us for, all the things like SSL termination, application protection, inspection, all those capabilities, being able to apply them at the edge, and the edge being just this morphing thing that floats around. It's going to be it's really going to be exciting for what we can offer people over the next 18 months as we start to get all these things together. It's going to take us a while to merge all the capabilities. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's impressive. And hey, the CTO is a Toronto boy, so I'm happy. So
yeah, nice.
He went to school here at Sheridan College, so I'm like, good,
Nice.
Yeah, we've got Canada well represented in our senior leadership at F5, which is very cool.
Jeng as well. He's a Toronto guy too, and Mika is a Vancouver guy, and Mika went to school in Vancouver as well. So our whole leadership is just Canadian. We're just taking it over slowly.
Exactly.
Very cool. Well, that is a half hour for us. So thanks for coming on, Peter.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Have you on. And then otherwise, we will see everybody next week. Bye.
Thanks, Chef. Bye, folks.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks for checking this out today. If you're watching via YouTube right now, go ahead and click subscribe down below. Also click the bell for notifications. That way you will find out when we are dropping a new video or when we're going live. Also, there's darylandboo.com. If you head over to that, leave your name and email address, we will drop a weekly technical newsletter in your inbox every Monday. Also, this is available via podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify. Head over to one of those, hit subscribe, and you'll be able to listen to us in the car on your commute or during a walk or a run. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.